Vasu. If I can ask you, first of all, I've had some pretty stinging comments overnight from two Nobel Prize winners. One is Joe Stiglitz, that the US recession chances are very high. He was speaking in Germany. And also Michael Spence, who won a prize, the Economics Prize, the Nobel Prize in 2001. The global economy has a 50% chance of falling into recession. You, looking at your notes, would disagree with that?
Well, I think at this juncture there isn't enough evidence to point to the fact that, we're heading for a recession. At this juncture, what we have out of the economic data is that growth is probably going to come down quite significantly. I mean, we may have to shave perhaps as much as 0.5% to 1% of growth figures, in Asia and other parts of the world.
We've also got, in fact, Citigroup shaving a lot more than that, in fact, on their global economy forecast to 3.8% from 4%. UBS the same, SocGen the same, Credit Suisse saying their core scenario is a subpar recovery worldwide and a 20% chance of recession. So they're also more bearish than you are. Why are you a bit more bullish or optimistic than others, do you think?
Well, I think at this juncture, the employment numbers are still coming through in the U.S. U.S. monetary policy is still very loose. We've had a bad patch of economic data. It's not really bad, but it's been kind of mixed. I think the reason why people are reacting the way they are is because stock markets have pulled back very sharply by 20%. But a 20% pullback in the stock markets may not necessarily mean that the economies are, headed for a sharp slowdown. I think the markets are, a lot of analysts are basically pretending that. So we don't see significant signs yet. We see slowdown, but possibly no recession yet.
And Asia, obviously, you're saying that they're going to hold up pretty well. If they contract, it'll be a pretty shallow one. Many are talking about a recession right here in Hong Kong. But again, you're also quite bullish about Asia.
Well, we are positive in Asia. Yes, if the world economy slows down, clearly Asia is also going to slow down without a doubt. Yes, it's possible we could have 2 quarters of negative growth in some parts of Asia, like Hong Kong, for example. That amounts to a technical recession, but I think on a yearly basis we may not see a contraction. But the advantage Asia has is that, it's got a lot of reserves. Governments here have the ability to basically spend their way out of a sharp slowdown or even a recession. So I think that's the advantage Asia has compared to what you have out of the US and Europe. So we are quite positive in Asia. I think Asian governments are in a better shape than what you have out of the West. Companies here are in a better shape. Individuals here are doing well. Unemployment is fairly low in most parts of Asia. Consumers have the ability to spend. So I think even if Asia slows down or even slips into a recession, as in a technical recession, 2 quarters of negative growth, it's very possible we could rebound a lot faster than other parts of the world.
23 years of experience you've got in the investment markets. Of course, it really is all attention on Ben Bernanke today. You're saying that the QE1, quantitative easing stage 1, QE2, and now mainly discussing QE3. But QE1, QE2 did not work, did it, Vasu? QE3 therefore won't work either.
It didn't make much. Yeah, it didn't make much of a difference. I mean, I think what it did was it sent financial markets a lot higher. The money went into the financial markets. Interest rates have been kept fairly low. But the problem doesn't appear to be low interest rates. The problem appears to be perhaps a lack of confidence among consumers, a lack of confidence among businesses to expand and hire in a big way. So, I think QE3 is not going to make much of a difference. I mean, yes, it's probably going to set asset markets higher, but it may not cause the economies to rebound.
The only thing it does work to do is add inflation to the Asian story. That isn't good.
Yes, it may add inflation to the Asian story, may not necessarily be very good. But, here in Asia, yes, inflation has been picking up, but we're not seeing hyperinflation. I think Asia can do with a little bit of inflation. It's good for the companies. They will be able to sell their products at a better price, better profits. So not necessarily a bad thing. But, at the end of the day, if QE3 comes true and, asset markets go up, hopefully it will inspire a bit of confidence among consumers and businesses, and maybe that will translate to some form of, economic boost as well, hopefully.